Champagne for the pain. Remember cold nights in the rain. Nigga, me and you, we ain't the same. I give my life for the gang. Got 2 chicks, give me brain. And I don't even know they name. Cause the switch time on the watch. And the whole key on the chain. Niggas like to talk hot until you been a nigga block. A janitor, I keep a mop and keep shooting when he drop. The 50 shots automatic. Killer when I woke up, let him have it. Cause for the bands, I'm an addict. I'd rather pound over plastic. Niggas know it's Gucci world. I don't spend my money on girls, but spend my money on girl. Champagne till I earl. You tryna take me down, they undercovers, but I keep my head above waters. Selling whole thing, fuck quarters. Play the camera, everybody source. When I'm out, do what I do. 45s, no 22s. Big shit to blow you out your shoes. Dead nigga go and make a move. Designer belt to hold my big tool. Jordans and phones, no designer shoes. So many guns, I could pick and choose. You make the front page, nigga, all the news.
Oh shit, man, what's up, y'all? What's happening? This reaction right here, yeah, I'm back with another reaction. This reaction right here is from my partner, Jeremy. Jeremy's a little big homie, you know what's up with the what's up. We gonna get into this. This is an interview, you know what I mean? Yes, I said it, an interview, you know what I mean, with the homie Merkules, you know what I mean? About his music and his life, drugs, and more. You know what I mean? So we gonna get personal and deep with what he been dealing with and expressing himself. All right, let's get into it. Lighter, Did I drop that, my G? Nah, you see, I call it, I missed it that time, but I call it that time. Let's go, you know what's up. We're gonna get right into this. Let's go, bro.
So I can chill, lay back, and relax, and smoke nice.
All I need is some haze.
That's how I feel, it's a fact, I pass it to the right.
All I need is some light and some haze.
So I can chill, lay back, and relax, and smoke nice.
All I need is some light and some
Let me get some chapstick,
That's how
man.
I feel,
Yeah, put
it's a
chapstick
fact,
on.
we pass it to the right. Give me a lighter while I write on this page. A fat, dirty motherfucker living life in a cage. My trifling ways have got me nodding off in the days.
Okay.
Call me insane, it's almost like I'm caught in a maze. I cop the bomber's product, copping up this chronic for days. What you got is okay, but dog is not on the same. Cause I'm a...
Yo, what up, everybody? It's the Kid Merkules. I'm out
Salute,
here in
my
Zug,
G.
Switzerland right now, repping Stomp Down Killers, 100 Mad Stuff on
SDK?
record. Shout out to the Spazio, best grown tax shop in town. You already know what it is. Line events book.
Hold up, that little mishap real quick. Hold up.
I got a gun.
Hold up, my bad. I had to, you know what I mean? I had something to, we gotta get rid of that. I'm sorry, this is real life. I'm not gonna edit that either, man. You know what I mean? Shit, I don't like to edit like that, man. It's real raw and uncut. You know what I mean? I could start it over. You know what I mean? If I start it over, I'm not being who I am. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna let it play. Shit, that's right, I said it. Let's go. Matter of fact, I was talking, I gotta go back. I wanna hear that track again. Get mad. I don't care.
All I need is some light and some haze.
So I can chill, lay back, and relax, and smoke nice.
All I need is some light and some haze.
That's how I feel, it's a fact, I pass it to the right.
All I need is some light and some haze.
So I can chill, lay back, and relax, and smoke nice.
Stomp down.
Light and some haze.
That's how I feel, it's a fact, we pass it to the right. Give me a lighter while I write on this page. A fat, dirty motherfucker living life in a cage. My trifling ways have got me nodding off in the days. You call me insane, it's almost like I'm caught in a maze. I cop the bomber's product, copping up this chronic for days. Shit you got is okay, but dog is not on the same. Cause I'm a...
Yo, what up, everybody? It's the Kid Merkules. I'm out here in Zug, Switzerland right now, repping Stomp Down Killers, 100
Switzerland?
Mad Stuff on records.
That's
Shout
right.
out to the Spazio, best grown tax shop in town. You already know what it is. Line events booking. We out here.
That's right, Merk. Talk to us, Merk. That's right.
We're in Europe right now. This is my first time ever being in Switzerland, but we got about 15 dates out here. I love it in Switzerland. We haven't done the show yet, but the show's tomorrow in Zug. It's going to be a really good time. When I said I was representing Stomp Down Killers, what I meant was it's a collective of graffiti artists, rappers, producers, skateboarders, and pretty much every element of hip-hop. And it's dope to be able to come all the way out here and represent and know that people are willing to take in and take a listen to what we're doing and become fans. So shout out to everybody in Switzerland. And
Shout
of
out
course,
to
Line
Switzerland.
Events. I'm happy to be here.
Shout out to Switzerland for that, man. You know what I mean? SDK. Let's go. Hold on, let me get some fire for that. Yeah, I caught it. You know what's up. Hold up, let me get this shit together. You see it? Oh, fell over there. I'm gonna get that later. Don't trip. I got another one right here.
I I started rapping when I was about 15 or 16 years old. I used to go to parties all the time, and when I was at these parties, I'd get really drunk and I would freestyle. And obviously, I was just fucking around having fun, but a lot of my friends told me that I should take it seriously and actually try to rap. So what happened is I would hang around the Effin' and the SDK store when I was just a young kid. Okay. I was just a fan of hip-hop in general, and I would just sit around and and listen to everybody else. And I met Snack and a few other people there, and that's one of the reasons with that. One of the things that inspired me to start making music. The first time I ever made a song in the studio, I was about 16 years old, and
I would love to hear.
I went to the studio with Snack. It was my first time in a real recording studio. We recorded a song. I was super excited because I just wanted to do a song with Snack. And then in his verse, he said, "In my neighborhood, you could get shot or stabbed being in the wrong place at the wrong time." And it was crazy because when he said that to me, in the song, it was whatever. I just thought it was a dope verse. But then later on that night, it was New Year's, and we went out partying. And me and my friend and our girlfriends at the time were on our way home from this party, and a car almost hit us. This guy was drunk driving or whatever, and he almost hit me. And then he pulled over, and I said, "Slow the fuck down." We got into a fight and an argument, and then he came back in an alley probably about 5-10 minutes later, and about 8 guys jumped out. They had masks on with machetes and bats and shit like that. And I got hit over the head with a bat. I got stabbed from here all the way up. I got a machete all the way across my face. And it was crazy to me because in Snack's verse, he actually said, "In my neighborhood, you could get shot or stabbed being in the wrong place at the wrong time." And then later on that night, that shit actually happened to me. So after recording my first song that day and then something tragic like that happening, a crazy coincidence like that happening, I just decided that I was going to stop doing dumb shit and I was just going to start taking music seriously. Because at that time, I was a young kid. We were stealing cars. We were doing a lot of really dumb shit. But I started making music after that, and I just kept making music more and more and more. And then eventually I started putting it out, and I grew a fan base and became a part of Stomp Down Killers. And here we are a few years later, and I'm in fucking Switzerland. So shout out.
That's right. Fucking Switzerland. My God. That's right, bro. I like this beat. I kill it right now.
When I was a really young kid, before the incident that I just spoke on, I really got into hip-hop when I was really young. I was always hanging out with people that were older than me. And all the older guys, I was like 12, hanging out with like 16-year-olds and shit like that. And the first rap tape that I ever had was Exhibit Restless because my babysitter was dating my cousin. And so I was like, "Yo, you want to date my cousin? You better go to the album store and buy me that."
Yo, Mike, that's how shit go in the hood. You know you from the hood. When my babysitter was dating my cousin. You know what I mean? Because you know when a babysitter come to the crib, especially if you're a bad pocket, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get stuffing for your garage. You understand what I'm saying? Most of y'all don't know what a garage is. But if you know, I'm going to break this shit down like a mad problem. Yes, I paused it. I know. A garage is the box down in between a female legs. You know what I mean? And the car is our third leg. So I parked this car into her garage. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So, you know, his cousin was parking that car into that garage. Babysitters, if you bad and you babysitting, man, and I come down the steps and I see you, I'ma see you. It's neither here nor there, but back to the video. Let's go. Hey, Mark, you know what's up, my G?
That fucking new CD that's parental advisory because they won't sell it to me. I was talking.
I gotta go back a little bit. I was talking.
And then eventually I started putting it out, and I grew a fan base and became a part of Stomp Down Killers. And here we are a few years later, and I'm in fucking Switzerland. So shout out to that.
Fucking Switzerland right now. Fire. Oh, shit. I got this.
When I was a really young kid, before the incident that I just spoke on, I really got into hip-hop when I was really young. I was always hanging out with people that were older than me. And
I was 12 years
all the
old.
older guys, I was like 12, hanging out with like 16-year-olds and shit like that. And the first rap tape that I ever had was Exhibit Restless because my babysitter was dating my cousin. And so I was like, "Yo, you want to date my cousin? You better go to the album store and buy me that fucking new CD that's parental advisory because they won't sell it to me because they're swearing in it." So I went in, he went to the store and he got me Snoop Dogg Doggy Style and he got me Exhibit Restless. And those were the first 2 rap albums that I owned.
Doggy Style and okay.
Trains going by in the background and shit.
That's some more shit.
Anyway, after that, those were the first 2 tapes I had. But I was listening to rap before that. We had LimeWire and Napster and shit like that. So when I wanted to hear the music with the swearing in it and shit like that I couldn't just go and buy myself, I would go online and I would download it and stuff like that. I would skip school, and me and all my friends would just sit up all day watching music videos that took 3 days to download off LimeWire and Napster and stuff like that. And I just became an avid hip-hop fan, and then that was before I ever even considered starting rapping, but that's how I first got into it. And like I said before, a lot of the kids I hung out with were a lot older than me, so I adapted to that a lot quicker than people at my age would have adapted to it, because I was, like I said, hanging out with older people. So that's how I got into hip hop.
Hell yeah, bad circumstances. Hell yeah.
My upbringing was a little bit different than a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends grew up in like broken homes and didn't have a lot of money and didn't have places to stay and stuff like that. So when I was younger, my parents were always super fucking cool and still are really fucking cool. So all my friends would come over to our house because we had the big house and we could hang out there and we'd party there. And my parents just said, hey, I'd rather them all be drinking and partying at our house than being out in the street drinking and doing dumb shit. So my parents kind of...
Yo, your parents is hood, my G. Because, you know what I mean? That's how you know you got loving parents. Yeah, I pause it again. So what? Get mad. But that's how you know you got loving parents, man. They rather you do that shit in the crib. Because you could be out there in the streets and then you do this, and next thing you know, bow, bow. Then you sitting up for some years. And when you could have just been in the crib doing this and then doing this, because you don't got nothing else to do. You in the crib. But if you on the streets and you like that, you going to get into, man, I get this shit. Let's go. I like that, man. I'm going to run that back a little bit. Say that shit again, my nigga.
Homes and didn't have a lot of money and didn't have places to stay and stuff like that. So when I was younger, my parents were always super fucking cool and still are really fucking cool. So all my friends would come over to our house because we had the big house and we could hang out there and we'd party there. And my parents just said, hey, I'd rather them all be drinking and partying at our house than being out in the street drinking and doing dumb shit. So my parents kind of took all of my friends in as their own children almost, in a sense. And, I mean, a few friends lived with us for a little while when I was a teenager and stuff like that. But my parents are a huge reason why I have the success that I do right now, because without them, a lot of people, the parents don't support things like being a rapper and being stuff like that. They want you to be in college and go get a real job and shit like that. But my parents always understood the vision and followed my dream with me. So if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am now. But, yeah, it wasn't like I had a bad upbringing, but I was just surrounded with a lot of people that did have bad upbringings. And that kind of rubbed off on me. And I kind of became a little bit of a shithead because of it. But I don't regret it, because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have so many stories to tell through my music. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. As far as drugs go, I mean, I was obviously curious as a teenager, just like every kid is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I haven't tried my fair share of different kinds of drugs. I definitely have. Like, I used to do a little bit of coke back in the day. I wasn't crazy like a lot of my friends were, who did a lot more and still do a lot more than I ever would even imagine. But, yeah, I used to do a little bit of that. I did mushrooms a few times. A crazy story involving drugs, actually. One time.
Yo, Mark, man, I appreciate your honesty. Most people wouldn't even come out into the table and say that shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you for that, man, Jim. Everybody go through things in life, man. You know what I'm saying? I know what's up. Let's go.
I ate a handful of mushrooms, magic mushrooms, or the fuck you want to call it, when I was a teenager. And there was a beer in front of me, so I grabbed the beer to wash the shitty taste, because mushrooms, they taste fucking horrible, right? So I grabbed the beer, and then I drank the beer to get rid of the taste of the mushrooms. But I didn't realize that the beer that I was drinking had GHB in it. So I drank the GHB, not realizing, and then had the mushrooms. So the fucked up thing was that I already knew I was going to be tripping off the mushrooms, and I accidentally did GHB. Plus, I was fucking hammered all night. I was drinking. I smoked a fucking ton of weed. And then once I found out what I just did, I was like, holy fuck, like, I got to get out of here. So I fucking got up, and I was like, yo, I got to dip. I told my friends, I'm like, I'm fucking going home. I don't know what's about to happen. So, yeah, when I first got home, I knocked on the door, and then I opened the door, and I see my mom cooking dinner. She was making soup, or like stew or chili or something like that.
You remember that?
And I just looked at her, and I tripped out. I thought she was like a witch cooking stew, like some shit you'd see in the movies. I was fucking bugged out. So I was like, that's crazy. I was tripping because I didn't want my parents to know I was on drugs, you know what I mean? And then my dad, he used to clean floors at a psych ward where all the crazy people were and shit. So he knew, because whenever it was mushroom season and there was lots of mushrooms, the whole place would be full because they're all tripping on mushrooms, going fucking crazy. So when he saw me, he knew I was on mushrooms, and he says to my mom, he says, oh, he's just on mushrooms, you just got to leave him alone or whatever. So I went and laid down in my bed and fucking locked myself in the room, and I was laying there just tripping out. And I felt like I was sinking into my bed, and then I had an all-white closet, like a regular closet, but but it had like two little eyes and like a mouth on it, like a cartoon character. And I was like literally talking to my closet. And
it happens.
It was super crazy. And I remember arguing with my closet over what color I wanted to paint. It was fucking weird. It was one of my worst trips. Another really bad trip that I had is I smoked salvia one time, and that shit fucking tripped me out too. I remember I knew I was gonna trip out because everybody does when they do that shit. But like in my head, I was like, there's like a roller coaster or some shit, or what the fuck do you call those things that spin all the way around?
Cyclone.
Ferris wheel, that's the one. There's a Ferris wheel, and my sweater was stuck in the Ferris wheel in my mind. Like, I'm tripping out, this is where I think I am. And my sweater was stuck in it, and it was just slowly spinning around, and I was like hanging off the side of this Ferris wheel, and then I snapped out of it. I've been through some fucked up drug trips, but I can't say I've done like any of the really crazy hard shit. So, yeah, don't do drugs, kids. What the fuck are you thinking? Go to school, man. Figure it out. Become a rapper or some shit. I'll be honest with you, like right now, rap is taking up a lot of my life. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there isn't days where I just sit on my ass all day and watch Family Guy, because there's definitely a lot of that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, rap has consumed a lot of my time. So whenever I'm not rapping or on tour, I make sure that I try to spend as much time with my girlfriend as I can. I make sure I can go see my family as much as I can. My grandparents are getting really fucking old, so I want to spend as much time with them. My parents, like I said, are fucking awesome. So whenever I can visit them, I try to do that as well. But as far as hobbies go, I don't really have hobbies besides trying to go to the gym and get rid of this fucking gut that I got popping here. But other than that, I go to the gym, I write, I rap, and I hang out at home, and that's pretty much it. Life's fucking not as interesting as you think it is.
Getting that bag, though, man. Getting that bag.
As far as production with music goes, I do want to say that producers don't get as much credit as they should, because to me, a producer, the beat is half the song, right? Yep. So when you hear a song, you always know who the artist is, but a lot of the time you don't even know who the producer is. And if it wasn't for the producer, you'd only have half the song. Nobody wants to listen to you rap for fucking 20 minutes with no beat in the background, because that would be whack as fuck. So shout out to all the producers, first of all. Producers that I like, well, first I'd like to shout out some of the producers I work with, and I'm going to get in trouble for this because I'm going to forget some of you, but it is what it is. You know I love you. C-Lance I've been working with a lot. Vanderslice is the homie. I work with him a lot. Vocab I work with a lot. The homie Stevie Ross is actually a friend of mine that I've known for a really long time, and me and him have been making a lot of new music. He makes really good production. Shout out to him. The homie Mason Rex, he's done a lot of production for me as of lately. King Crates. I could go on all night. So anybody that I didn't mention that I work with, you know, I still respect and love you. But like I said, producers don't get the respect and the credit that they deserve. So shout out to all the hardworking producers out there. Another thing too is Apathy actually has been sending me some beats lately, and he wants to produce an album for me sometime soon. So shout out to Apathy. Me and him will be working a lot more. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. As far as the world goes, I could sit here and talk for hours about all the shit that's wrong with it and all the things that are good with it. I feel as of lately, being that it's 2016 right now, a lot of shit is going wrong. I mean, that fucking red-haired weirdo is about to be the president and shit like that, and I'm not really down with that. But as far as the world goes, there's a lot that's wrong that isn't talked about.
Yo, fire for that, Merk, because I'm not down with that shit either. You know what's up. Fire for that. I caught that. I dropped it, but I got backup. You know what's up with the what's up. Shout you out for that. We gonna get this shit together. Pardon me. Let's go.
That I think should be spoken on more.
Let's say that shit again, man. Fuck that. Say that shit again, Merk. What you tired of? I ain't with that shit. We ain't with that shit, Merk. Let them know. I'm gonna hold that there until you say that. You know what I mean? Because it's fire.
As far as the world goes, I could sit here and talk for hours about all the shit that's wrong with it and all the things that are good with it. I feel as of lately, being that it's 2016 right now, a lot of shit is going wrong. I mean, that fucking red-haired weirdo is about to be the president and shit like that, and I'm not really down with that. But as far as the world goes, there's a lot that's wrong that isn't talked about that I think should be spoken on more. Like I said, I could go into detail, but I'd be here all night. I think that anybody that wants to know my view of the world and the things, like the way I think about the current state of the world, can listen to my music, because a lot of the stuff I speak on, and that's one of my ways of talking about the way I feel about the way the world is. When I write my music, it's kind of like self-therapeutic, because when I write it, it helps me feel better. But sometimes I like to put myself in other people's shoes that are going through other things that I'm not currently going through, and speak on their issues and how I see it and how I see how I think they must feel. So Yeah, I mean, the world's a fucked up place at the end of the day, but there's a lot of good things, like, for example, rapping for a living and being in fucking Switzerland. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, there's my view of the
Shout out
world, it
Switzerland.
varies. It changes every fucking day because there's new things happening all the time. But if you want to know my real view of the world, just copy any of my music, go on YouTube, type my name in, listen to some of my music, and you can hear more there. But the world's a fucked up place, and that's pretty much it.
Listening to the beat, making the hook.
When I sit down to write music, one of the first things I do is I play the beat, because if the beat is dope and I like the beat, I usually can write to it right away, and the first thing I try to write is the chorus. The chorus to me is like the one thing that holds the entire song together.
Yo, Merk, I'm the same way, my G. I like to listen to the beat. If the beat is hard, it's like the beat talk to you so you know exactly what to say on it, right? So it's easy to format. I get this. I gotta say that shit again, my nigga. Say that shit again. Let's go.
The world's a fucked up place, and that's pretty much it.
That's right. Get down. I don't care, y'all. You don't gotta watch it. You know what I mean? Shit. It's my God.
When I sit down to write music, one of the first things I do is I play the beat, because if the beat is dope and I like the beat, I usually can write to it right away, and the first thing I try to write is the chorus. The chorus to me is like the one thing that holds the entire song together. It's the catchy part that everybody remembers. Verses are obviously just as important, but I feel like when I write a song, I want to have the chorus there first, and then I write my topics around the chorus.
That's right.
And that's how I build the song. Some days I'm sitting there and I'm trying to write music and I can't. I just have writer's block. And those days sometimes I have to just realize, hey, you can't really write right now. You need to go outside, go for a walk, get some fresh air. I have to go out and physically do things, and then new ideas will come to mind. I can't just sit in one place all day long if I want to write a song. So that happens to me sometimes, not all the time. But my music usually just writes itself. So if I sit down, like I said, and it doesn't write itself right away, then I have to go out of my way to do something to get new inspiration to write a new song or what have you like that. But
I get it.
Yeah, I try to always write with multis too, which is one thing that a lot of rappers aren't doing nowadays. When I say multi, I mean like instead of just saying fucking black, or instead of saying cat in a hat, you say there's like a black cat in a fucking knapsack with you know what I mean? Like it's 2-syllable rhymes. So that's one thing that I try to keep alive as far as my writing goes, because a lot of people aren't paying attention to that anymore, and it's something that's dying quickly, especially with these fucking weirdos that are like mumbling shit on beats.
Right.
Not even really saying real words anymore.
That's right.
So I try to keep hip-hop alive in that sense.
And you do.
But when I sit down to write, I'm not really thinking about keeping hip-hop alive and shit. I just kind of do it the way that I do it. But that's definitely one thing that I try to consider when I'm writing. So that's how my writing process goes. And another thing, too, is I'll write the first verse, or I'll write the chorus, then I'll write the first verse, and I find it really hard to write the second verse, because to me, a lot of the time, the first verse and the chorus is almost like a whole song to me. So I struggle sometimes writing that second verse, and that's usually when I have to go for a walk or do whatever else. But yeah, that's about that. That's my writing process.
Man, you kill shit anyway. This nigga's the GOAT. You know what I mean?
As far as right now in the music that I'm making, I have a new album that I'm putting together. I'm not going to sit here and be one of those guys that's like, yeah, it's almost finished. It's coming real soon. It is coming soon, but I take my time when I write music. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm like, oh my God, I'm scrambled. I have to throw this together last minute. But I do have a new album in the works right now. My deadline for it, which I haven't really set on camera yet, is on Halloween. So that's when I have to have it finished. I don't know if that means when I'm going to put it out, but that's when I have to at least have it finished. So it will be out very soon. With this album, you can expect the usual shit that you would expect from me, like the raw bars and the hardcore shit. But I'm trying to touch on other things as well, like not just that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? I'm trying to do more melodic, like hooks and stuff. I'm not trying to say I'm going to sing like fucking Britney Spears or anything, but I'm trying to learn how to do other new things like that. Do new styles of beats and stuff like that. And as far as features and stuff go, I'm definitely going to have some really dope features on my album. I don't want to sit here and tell you too much about it because that might ruin the surprise, but I will have some very dope features. Expect work from obviously me and everybody on the Stomp Down team working together and stuff like that. Also, when I was in Spain last year, I recorded a whole album with an artist that goes by the name of Foyone. and we recorded an entire album. And we're going to be putting that out really soon, too. We shot a video for it, and every time I'm in Spain, I meet up with him, and I feel like he's very connected with SDK in Spain. So him and I combined forces, made an album together, did a video. That will be coming out soon. Shout out to all the fans in Spain that come out and support us as well. So there's 2 projects right there. There's going to be a whole bunch of other stuff I'm working on as well. I just need to get all the touring done and then get back in the studio and see what happens. But there's a lot more coming. I don't have a title yet for the album, but I will be giving you guys the title soon. And anybody that chooses supports it can get it on iTunes, Spotify, all those kind of things. It'll be on YouTube too if you can't afford to buy it. But buy my shit anyway because you're awesome.
Love,
fuck yeah. And
look, he putting it on YouTube if you can't afford to buy it. But go buy the album, man. All right? All right? All right. Let's go.
Once that new album comes out, you know that I'm going to be back here in Zug or anywhere in Switzerland repping with the homie Leon at Lion Events Booking because he holds us down and he shows us a lot of love. So shout out to Lion Events Booking. You already can see that that's already the movement, right? So I don't even really have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Shout out to Lion Events Booking. Also, me and the homie are going to be doing a lot more talking as far as spreading the movement out here in Switzerland. Stomp Down is something that deserves to be worldwide, and he's obviously shown us a lot of respect and a lot of love. Everybody at Lion Events has, so we're going to do some talking, and we're going to see what's going on with that. But SDK worldwide, you know what I mean? F-In, Hunter Mad worldwide, Stealth Bomb Records worldwide. You never know what might fucking happen, so that's what's up. And don't get it twisted either. SDK is very alive in Switzerland, so it's SDK Switzerland all fucking day.
That's right.
Yeah. Shout out to 6'4",
That's right.
AK Beats.
Let's go. Look at this.
Check it.
That's right.
Yeah. Flow drastic, I'm Bo Jackson with Pro Magnums. I'm more classic than Fubu jackets, I'm old fashioned. I ain't 50 Cent, I don't need to get shot. I'm so Canadian, I wear flip-flops but with socks. The bar analyst, my squad is gargantuan.
Hold on. Go back a little bit.
Also, me and the homie are going to be doing a lot more talking as far as spreading the movement out here in Switzerland. Stomp Down is something that deserves to be worldwide, and he's obviously shown us a lot of respect and a lot of love. Everybody at Lion Events has, so we're going to do some talking, and we're going to see what's going on with that. But SDK worldwide, you know what I mean? F-In, Hunter Mad worldwide, Stealth Bomb Records worldwide. You never know what might fucking happen, so that's what's up. And don't get it twisted either. SDK is very alive in Switzerland, so it's SDK Switzerland all fucking day.
That's right.
Yeah. Shout out to 6'4", Bon
That's right.
Chance, AK Beats.
Hit that football the ball again. Come on.
Look. Check it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Flow drastic, I'm Bo Jackson with Pro Magnums. I'm more classic than Fubu jackets, I'm old fashioned. I ain't 50 Cent, I don't need to get shot. I'm so Canadian, I wear flip-flops with with socks. The bar analyst,
I'm so Canadian, I wear flip-flops with tube socks. Oh, that football ball was hard too. Hold on. For us, by us. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. You gotta go back. Yeah, I keep rewinding. Don't watch it, my nigga.
SDK worldwide,
Shit, man,
you know what I mean? F-In, Hunter Mad worldwide, Stealth Bomb Records worldwide. You never know what might fucking happen, so that's what's up. And don't get it twisted either. SDK is very alive in Switzerland, so it's SDK Switzerland all fucking day.
That's right.
yeah. Shout out to 6'4", Bon Chance, AK Beats. Hey. Look.
Talk his
Check
shit.
it. Yeah. Flow drastic, I'm Bo Jackson with Pro Magnums. I'm more classic than Fubu jackets, I'm old fashioned. I ain't 50 Cent, I don't need to get shot. I'm so Canadian, I wear flip-flops but with socks. The bar analyst, my squad is gargantuan. My songs are hotter than the blocks in Los Angeles. These lollipop rappers like to take it.
My song's harder than the blocks in Los Angeles. Oh, it was fire.
I started from the bottom, then I made it like a point. That pure Colombian bar was cocaine.
I get that.
You probably won't come out when I call stains a loud neighbor. Get a shot through the wall when it go bang. Work whipping, murk hit it, just call me the dope.
Bang,
I bang max and turn your main back paint black. That's for getting in my grill like a face tag. Your career's like a fang going way back. The road is rocky, you should fix that. ASAP. Young Merkules certain to come to lollipop.
The roll is Rocky. You should fix that ASAP. Rocky. ASAP Rocky. Oh, hold up. Go back. I don't care. Y'all get mad. Hold on. Y'all can get mad. You can get mad. I don't care. Care. Let's go. I don't care.
Check it.
Check it.
Yeah.
That's right.
The flow drastic, I'm Bo Jackson with Pro Magnum. I'm more classic than Full Jackets, I'm old fashioned. I ain't 50 Cent, I don't need to get shot. I'm so Canadian, I wear flip-flops with flip socks. The bar analyst, my squad's gargantuan. My songs are hotter than the blocks in Los Angeles. These lollipop rappers like to take it in a joint. I started from the bottom, then I made it to the point. The pure Colombian bars is cocaine with a speed.
I started from the bottom and I made it to a point. That's pure Colombian. Oh, come on. Fire, nigga. Ha ha. Let's go.
Get a shot to the wall and go bang. Work, weapon, murk, hit it, just call me the dope man. I bang axe and turn your main back, paint black. That's for getting in my grill like a face tap. Your career's like a fang going way back. The road is rocky, you should fix that.
ASAP.
Young Merkules.
I gotta hear that bar again. That was fire. That was fire.
These lollipop rappers like to take it in a joint. I started from the bottom, then I made it to the point. The pure Colombian bars is cocaine with a speed. You probably won't come out when I call stains a loud neighbor. Get a shot to the wall and it go bang.
You probably won't, when it's beef, you probably won't come out like old stains. Yeah.
Weapon, murk, hit it, just call me the dope man. I bang axe and turn your main back, paint black. That's for getting in my grill like a face tap. Your career's like a fang going way back. The road is rocky, you should fix that ASAP. Young Merkules certain to come to murder beats, no courtesy. He perfectly earnest, he do it purposely while you nervously learn the street. There's no adversity, sure to eat if you're personally work from Steve in the third degree. Stomp down.
Stomp down. You heard him? Nigga? SDK. Oh, come on, man. That was fire. Yo, Merk, man. Yo, Merk, man. Yo, Merk, man. Come on, son. You're the best, son. Do what you do, how you do what you do. You know what I mean? Whoever get mad that I rewinded, I don't care. Get mad. I do what I do. Don't watch. All right? You gotta be here, my nigga. Shit. Nothing but love and respect for those that appreciate me, man. I appreciate y'all back. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. All right? All right, now I'm moving on to the next one. Let's go. 4 minus 3, 1, and I'm out of here. Get mad. You could get mad. I'm out. Let's go. Shit. Shit, man.
She fell in love with me cuz, or cause she think I'm the plug. Throwing hundreds like they ones, hitting Neiman Marcus just for fun. I got a gun in the club, I feed a nigga slugs. Get tipsy high off the mud, the fuck you niggas thought this was? She fell in love with me cuz, or cause she think I'm the plug. Throwing hundreds like they ones, hitting Neiman Marcus just for fun. I got a gun in the club, I feed a nigga slugs. Get tipsy high off the mud, the fuck you niggas thought this was?